Thank you very much once again. Today, I would like us to talk about capitalism versus socialism. These are two concepts that have, for several decades, actually almost a century, been used everywhere to try and drive the political agenda and seeking to see whether which works better than which. And I would like to explain these ones a little bit, especially to shed some light on some of the misconceptions or misunderstandings that have been put out there, because it is out of those misunderstandings that the masses have continued to suffer. Others have left good solutions for bad, in order to save their nations, and the masses have ended up paying a hefty price in due course and for too long, which was not necessary, which should have been something that is so obvious that should have been resolved right from the word go. Without using too many words, capitalism is a situation where individuals, private entities, own factors, own and control factors of production, land, capital. They don't own labor, but they control labor. They own land and capital, then they control labor to create value for themselves. And when it comes to capitalism, it's driven by freedom. You're free to join, you're free to leave. You're free to work for me, you're free to get out and go home, done. On the other hand, socialism, this is where the government owns and controls all factors of production: land, capital, and even labor. It's owned. You have to go where they tell you to go. The thing is, the problem with socialism is it is arbitrary. Nobody thinks of it. In theory, it sounds so good because, hey, we produce, all of us, we consume, all of us. But the thing is, who determines who does what? In socialism, who determines who does what? Who determines who is the doctor, who is going to be the president, who is going to be the manager, who is going to be the banker? Who determines that? Who is going to go to the farm? Who is going to cater for the cows? Who's going to be a tailor? Who determines that? It's arbitrary. It's nonsense. Because someone has to decide for others. Someone has to tell others what to do. You see, in capitalism, you decide yourself. You feel like you can be a good barber and the best in the market. You go for it. You become the best. You start charging higher and higher until where a haircut is $1,000. So you can have 4 customers per day. Or it's even 10,000. It's up to you, right? You decide you can grow potatoes. You be the most efficient to grow the potatoes. You grow the potatoes. You make the right decision. You take it to the market. You'll be able to sell it cheapest. So you can sell all of them. You make the profit. You make the wrong decision. You're burned. You go home. It's you to decide. Nobody to decide the price. The price is determined by the market. You decide what to produce. You decide to become a lawyer. You decide to go to school. You decide to do whatever you want. Freedom. In other words, capitalism is born out of voluntary cooperation, freedom to voluntarily cooperate, to do things together or alone or however you want. You make the decision to do whatever you want. It goes right, you're in, you're rich. It goes wrong, you go home. In socialism, that there's some people somewhere that make decisions. And the problem with that is they're not as careful. They're spending money not as carefully as they should. They are arbitrary. They are biased. They are human. And that is why their decisions, once they get right, which they rarely, we make money. But when they get it wrong, their mistakes is in capitalism. When you make a mistake, your mistake could be millions. But any one time in socialism the government makes a mistake, it costs the economy billions, if not trillions, billions. So I'd rather an individual make a mistake rather than the government. And there's this notion that this money is never ending, so they keep spending and spending until they realize, wait a minute, we are spending and money is not coming back. Why? Because productivity is low. Whoever is expected to be producing has no incentive. If I produce more, I don't get more. We're eventually going to share. So why would I want to do that? In capitalism, the more you produce, the more you keep. You get to keep. That is why capitalism always wins. It says you go to work Monday through Friday, you get to keep your money. Socialism says you go to work Monday through Friday. Friday, you bring your paycheck, we go party. How do you explain that? Is that even fair? Is that even real? And that is why in capitalism, the government is the agent of the people. In socialism, the government is the master of the people. In capitalism, the government only spends a portion of their income. In socialism, the government is supposed to spend all their money. People talk about the government. This is not the government. The government is like my car right there. It's a tool I use to get roads done, to get children education, to get safety and security, to get electricity infrastructure set up. It's just a tool. That's how it ought to be. All these other ideas we have that the government is, it is nothing. It's a dead thing. And that's the reason we have always insisted the government runs a zero budget. It operates on zero budgeting concept. All the money must be spent, all the money must be returned, whatever is not spent. And it is wrong to return money to treasury. It is right to spend all of it. It is wrong to overspend. It is a concept that needs to be understood, that capitalism, it is the only system, way of doing things that has produced most progress. It has revolutionized the world. It has brought about all these technologies, have brought about investment in all these modern marvels, including internet, including motor vehicle, including electricity discovery, including a discovery of cell phones and those kind of things. All those were discovered not by a government bureaucrat somewhere, but by the private sector. My name is John Mutongi, and I approve this message. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Thank you very much.